virtual road trip than with a visit to Palm Springs. And we're joined by the executive chef and owner of the popular Copleys on Palm Canyon. Please welcome award-winning chef Andrew Copley. Hello, chef. How are you?
Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning. You know, another reason to love Palm Springs, you get a British accent when you move there.
And it's cold.
Is it cold? What's the temperature?
I think it's about 68 going on to 72 today, maybe a little bit hotter.
How dare you? How dare you boo the chef, you savages? No vegetarian dish for you. Chef, what are we making today?
So today, Kelly, we're going to do a vegetarian dish. We're doing a miso glazed cauliflower. It's super popular and very healthy.
It's very popular in my house. Can you teach us what do we start with? The miso glaze? Is that what we're starting with?
Yeah. So what we're going to do first, Kelly, is we're going to start to make the miso glaze, and then we'll move to the cauliflower after that.
Okay.
So it's really easy if you want to follow along.
Yep.
We're going to get a medium-sized bowl, and you're going to start with your white miso paste.
Yep.
And then from there, we're going to add a little bit of mirin, which is kind of like a cooking liquor.
Mm.
We're gonna add a little bit of honey, and that's going to give it some sweetness.
What's next?
All right. So after the honey, we're going to add a little soy sauce for some saltiness.
Mm.
And then we're going to add our garlic and ginger, which is a staple in every dish, really. And then finally, we're going to add a little bit of sesame oil.
Mm.
So it's pretty strong. We don't want to go too heavy on that one. And you're literally just going to whisk it together.
Okay.
And as we whisk it, what we're going to do is basically use this as a glaze on our cauliflower.
Yum.
Okay, so as we just kind of whisk it together, blend it, get all the lumps out from the actual from the miso paste, then we can start with our cauliflower. So you're going to need your knife.
Got it. I always have my knife handy.
Okay. Oh, great. Oh, I'd have to sleep with one eye open.
Yes. Okay.
So what we do with the cauliflower, it's one of the most underrated vegetables. It's a beautiful vegetable. I love using it.
Me too.
And we can make steaks out of it.
Mm.
So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut it from the center. We've cleaned it. We're going to go straight down the center of the cauliflower with your sharp knife.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're either going to go left or right and take about an inch thickness.
Okay.
And that's to hopefully keep together because of the core of the cauliflower. And then I'm going to do another slice on the opposite side. So I work from the inside in because that's where it will stay together the best. So what we're going to do then is we're going to put them in either a roasting tray or a saute pan that can handle the heat of our oven. And we're going to use a tiny little bit, just a tiny little bit of olive oil. And we're just going to drizzle that over the cauliflower. Now, this cauliflower is going to go in the oven for about 15 minutes. And there's a reason why we do that is if I was to put the cauliflower directly, or if I was to put the glaze on the cauliflower now, the cauliflower is not going to open up and absorb the flavors. So we cook it for about 10, 15 minutes, and the cauliflower then in the oven opens up. And so that enables me then to add the glaze after, and it seeps into the cauliflower. So I'm going to put this in the magic oven.
Yeah.
So hopefully you have your magic oven turned on.
Mine is done. My magic oven has cooked. And by the way, I would have screwed it up. I would have put the glaze directly on. So I'm glad you told me that.
Well, we have to play around with this one.
Yeah.
Just to see how we could get the most flavor. So after about 15 minutes, your cauliflower is going to look like this. So it's got a nice little cook on there, but it's not completely cooked.
Got it.
Because they do take about 25 minutes. So now what I'll do, now I'm going to add my glaze. So I'll smear it, and depending on how much you love miso, depends on how much you generously want to pour over your cauliflower. That looks great.
Who doesn't love miso?
Now that the cauliflower is kind of opened up and is accepting this miso glaze, now we can put that back in the oven, and now we'll just completely cook this cauliflower. And what's going to happen then, Kelly, is the glaze they'll start to just get a little nice brownness to it and caramelize and make it nice and
We're going to
sweet.
show everyone on our website how to make the dressing and the cauliflower and everything all together. And we appreciate you so much for being here, and we will see you soon when we move next door to your restaurant, Chef.
While the cauliflower's in the oven for the last 10 minutes cooking to cook it all the way through and glaze that beautiful steak we've got in there, we're going to start on the salad. So what I'm going to do is take the first 4 ingredients, or the first 4 vegetables. So we've got some green onion. Okay, that's going to go. Unripe mango is going to go in, and that just gives it some crunch. We have green papaya. Okay, so we have our green papaya. Again, it's a little crunchy. And then we have some raw carrots. And these have all been cut into julienne or matchsticks. So you can use these basically on your mandolin, or you can do them by hand. And I'm just going to mix them around and leave them to sit there for a while. Now, the dressing that's going to break these down a little is what we're going to make next. And we're going to start with a little bit of sambal chili. So if you don't like it too hot, go easy on this one. But I like mine a little spicy. So sambal chili goes in. We have a little garlic. Garlic's going in for the dressing. Sugar. Okay, so we're going to add our sugar. And then from there, we're going to add this beautiful fish sauce, which is basically like it's like a soy sauce, but it's actually dried anchovies, believe it or not. It doesn't smell delicious, but it does taste delicious. So we don't go crazy on that one. We're going to add our white wine vinegar, a little bit of that one. So now with the vinegar and the sugar and also the lime juice, now we're getting a sweet and sour flavor to this dressing. And we're going to give that a little mix. So let's just whisk that around. And then the final thing we're going to put in here, actually let me add a little bit more of this. Beautiful. And I might add a little bit more of my fish sauce just to give it a little bit more flavor. And then the final thing for my dressing is some freshly chopped mint and cilantro. So mint can be used in an entree dish as well. It's not just for garnishing desserts. So once these are in, I'm going to give that a mix. And you can do 2 things. You can pour in here or pour back. So I'm going to add these vegetables, or a portion of these vegetables, to my dressing. And now with all the ingredients in my dressing, it's going to help break this down slightly. So it'll still be crunchy, but it will still have, it'll just break it down so it's delicious. The actual vegetables soak in all the dressing. So let's leave that for a second. Okay. So what we got done right now, we got our miso going in the beginning. We got our cauliflower cut, and that's in the oven, and that's just about ready now. And we have our dressing made and our green papaya salad. So we're going to put that to one side. So as we take the cauliflower out, you can see how it's got a nice glaze on there. That's from the miso. Okay, so that's our cauliflower. And then what I like to do is I like to use an array of fresh vegetables for this because it is a vegetarian dish. Okay, so what are we using? I like to use these. So I do a selection of roasted corn. I have spaghetti squash, broccoli or broccolini, some mushrooms, and some edamame. So eventually what we do is once we've sauteed them off in a little butter, we pop them on a plate like this. Okay, and that's how we present it in the restaurant. And then finally, to finish this, we'll do our 2 last steps, which is the cauliflower. You're gonna sit that on top like that. So it looks like a really nice steak, but it is actually vegetarian. And then finally, our crunchy salad. And you can see how it's just starting to break down from the dressing, and that's gonna give it a nice bite. Pop that on top, just like that. And there you have a miso glazed cauliflower with a green papaya mango salad, super easy dressing, and some fresh roasted vegetables. Thank you. I'm Andrew Copley, chef owner of Copley's on Palm Canyon here in sunny Palm Springs.